everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Spiked Coffee and Sarcasm. I'm Van.
I'm Chris.
So, what's been going on this week, Chris? What's been going on with you? I know you've been busy at work because we haven't really talked much, but that's okay. I'll forgive you.
It's been a crazy busy week at work, really. We have, as I don't know if I probably have mentioned it several times actually, that I work in a factory and part of my job is to ensure the quality of our products get out. Well, one of our machines went down and it's got the attention of everybody. So I've spent all week trying to figure out parts and everything that's wrong with this machine. And we've got maintenance and the machining guy is saying that it's parts problems. And we've got parts guys saying that it's a machining problem and quality is on the outside going, y'all suck. So yeah.
Don't you wish you worked in a chocolate factory?
Oh,
who would really have a problem with chocolate?
Right? This week would be a good week to work in a chocolate factory. And I will tell you this. At my desk, I work in an office where there's like 7 of us that work in there. And I always bring chocolate. I bring a couple bags of chocolate in every few weeks. And it started out where I was just bringing it and putting it in a jar and people would randomly come by and take a piece. Now I'm getting paid for it. People are coming by and they're dropping money in a little cup or something. But I've had a couple of people come by and drop a 10 on my desk and say, keep them coming. So, yeah, that's really kind of nice. How about you? How's it going in your neck of the woods?
Oh, people buying homes and not understanding the home buying process. It amazes me how people can just not... Hold on. Something's going on with my phone and hold on. Give me a second because something's going on here.
I think you just flipped me off.
I did not flip you off. I'm trying to get you back on my screen and it's...
I'm watching Van on Skype and she's I see is her middle finger sticking up. I think she's flipping me off. She could say no, but I think
get you on the screen. I can't see you. What happened?
I can see you.
Oh, can you see my wall?
I can see your wall now.
Oh, shoot.
Technical difficulties.
I don't know what happened, but I cannot see you. But I guess that doesn't really matter since I can still hear you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyway, gotta love technology. Now I can just sit here and watch myself talk.
Hey.
Because I can see me, but I can't see you.
Well, I can see you. And I can see me too. That's very weird.
Oh, well that's very weird because I don't know what happened. And when I don't know. Anyway, okay. I'm just going to have to go without seeing you. So don't make faces at me. Anyway.
Don't make faces at me.
As I was saying, it amazes me that there are so many people in the world that do not understand the home buying process. Now, I've worked in the mortgage industry for going on 8 years, and there's still aspects of the mortgage industry that I don't, like the home buying process that I don't understand.
Sure.
And that's all good. And a lot of people won't understand it fully. But the fact that people throw fits because they have to send in their bank statements or they have to send in their pay stubs.
Right.
And they'll send in their bank statements and they would have taken a black marker and just crossed everything out except for like their name and address. Well, I'm like, you do understand that you're trying to get a financial loan. Like you're asking my company for money to buy a home.
Right. We
have to know what your money situation is in order for you to get a loan. What part of this process are you not understanding? Because you would be amazed at how many people throw a fit when you ask them for personal financial information. You ask them about child support. Why do you need to know about that? Because it's part of your income, you dumbass. We have to know about it. I mean, come on. It's so frustrating. It is. I had a guy, my last phone call of the day, right as I was leaving. I've been trying to get a payoff from this guy because some of our homes, they buy land from other people.
Right.
And they go into these agreements, like not with a bank, just
Okay.
with person to person.
Yep.
Okay. And so we have to get a payoff from the person they're buying the land from, and that's dealing with just a person, and that can get kind of tricky sometimes. Well, this guy is from Podunk, Arkansas, I think is where this property is at.
Okay.
And he's been a really nice guy up until this point. Well, I get on the phone with him today, and he sends me the form that I needed, but he had it filled out incorrectly, and so I'm trying to explain to him how I need the form filled out, and he's like, I'm not going to do that. I don't know what kind of shady crap you guys are doing. I just deal with that guy. I don't deal with you guys. So I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'm all, that's fantastic. That helps my process a lot, you idiot.
Isn't it?
Like-
don't you just want to say, okay, you do what you want to do. Go ahead. You do you, buddy. And we're not giving you the loan. I mean, really.
Well, but I know, but this guy is like, he's like, I get paid regardless. But here's the thing. You have this person paying you for land, and they want to give you the rest of the money they owe you, like in a lump sum.
Right.
Like you're going to get a check for a couple $1,000, like over $10,000.
Right. Okay.
You would think that this guy would want to be a little bit more accommodating so he can get that money. But no, we're shady and we're trying to pull shady shit. Okay, well, then you can go back to Mr. So-and-so who's giving you money every month, and you tell him that you're holding up his loan, because that's what we're going to have to tell him.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
have a nice day. I'm going home now.
Well, I have spent, like I said, all week away from my desk. So I haven't been able to, like, respond to email or anything. But along those lines of people who don't know the process or don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry, I just saw your face.
I don't like not being able to see you. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, you did not just whine. Listen to you whine.
I did just whine.
Do you want some
I'm
cheese
drinking
with
wine,
that?
and I just whined.
Oh,
Yes,
my goodness.
I do want some cheese, actually.
Anyway, the whole, you know, for lack of a better term, stupid people, we all come across those, you know? And
Yes.
and we're all guilty
Yes.
of being that. Like, I know that I am the queen of stupid once in a while. But sometimes you just really, like, you just look at somebody who I went on a business trip, and there was like 5 or 6 of us that had gone on this business trip, and there was the place that we were going to provided lunch, and it was like, you know, sub sandwiches. Okay. So one of our engineers looked at the guy who bought the lunch and says, "You have a Jimmy John's here?" And my first thought was, nope. They dropped it out of the sky out of an airplane just for you. I mean, really, like, here's your sign. I really felt the urge to say that, and I physically had to stop myself. Because
it's so hard sometimes to not just say what you're thinking.
Yeah, I was told I'm delicate. I'm delicate. Yeah, because
you're delicate.
Yes, because I don't take well. Sometimes I get emotional when things don't go my way. I get a little emotional. And
no.
And so when the girl was telling me, she was like, "Yeah, you're a little bit delicate. I have to be careful what I say to you." And I'm thinking, no, it's just you I don't like. It's not you have to be careful. I just...
It's not that I'm sensitive. I just don't like you, and I don't want to say that out loud.
Exactly. So along the lines of saying what's on your mind, yeah, that's not always an option if you want to keep your job or, you know, whatever. Keep up good relations.
You know, I have kind of an advantage when it comes to not showing stupid people that they're stupid when they're, like, standing in front of me talking to me.
Yep.
Because I have resting bitch face.
I don't have that.
So, yeah, you have a hard time. You don't have a good poker face.
No.
But because I have resting bitch face, I have a good poker face, so I can sit there and I can look at somebody and not show any emotion on my face until they like walk away. So that's an advantage because trust me, it is sometimes hard not to look at somebody and say, how do you even function on a normal basis?
How did you live this long?
Yeah, exactly. How did you tie your shoes this morning? Right. I mean, you can't possibly be that dumb. I don't know. I come across, like, there's so many times, like, okay, so we've mentioned before in several episodes that we don't like to grocery shop.
Right.
I see some of the dumbest things that people do in the grocery store. For instance, why do people think that they are the only person in the grocery store and that it is perfectly okay to leave your grocery cart in the middle of an already small aisle?
Well, because...
So you can look at what kind of rice you want to buy.
Well, don't
like,
you
move
know
it to the side.
That their half is the middle? They're taking their half of the aisle right out of the middle. That's theirs.
And then the kicker is you try and get by there. Okay, first you say, excuse me, they don't listen because, picking out the right kind of rice is very important and it takes a lot of focus. So you say, excuse me, they ignore you. So you try and get your cart around their cart and then you bump their cart and then they look at you like, how fucking dare you?
I know.
How dare you touch my... It's like, okay, first of all, I don't want to fight in the grocery store. So I'm just going to say I'm sorry and I'm going to move on, which is very hard. But what I would really like to say to this person is why not just not leave your cart in the middle of the aisle?
Right.
Like, move it to the side. That's what I do. So I don't understand what the problem is. And another thing that bothers me at the grocery store is... Okay, so most grocery stores, when you bring your cart outside, you unload your groceries, and then there's like a little area where you can put your cart in so it doesn't go all over the parking lot and bump into people's cars, and, they pick them up, put them back, So the little cart area where you put your cart in. I always try and put my cart in those things because, if it gets windy out or something, those carts are flying all over the place and people get dings in their cars.
Right.
So what I don't understand... is everybody knows how a grocery cart works. You push in the little thing and each cart goes inside the other cart.
Right.
So you can make a nice little neat row. If you're going to take the time to put your cart in the little cart area, why can't you just use a tad bit more effort to push your cart into the other cart? So I see people just putting their cart, like just putting it there. Well, if you just put it there, it's still going to roll, especially if there's a whole bunch of them and you're putting yours at the end.
Yep.
Why not just push it in? I don't understand. Just push it in. Maybe I'm smarter than the average bear, but it drives me crazy. I'm always shaking my head at what. You walked all the way over there to put your cart in the little cart area, but you're unwilling to take a little bit more effort just to push them all together so there's more room for the next person who wants to put their cart there. It baffles me. Maybe I'm being a little unreasonable, but it baffles me. It really baffles me.
No, I see your point. I have been guilty in a hurry of putting my cart in there, but without tucking it into the cart and the next cart. But usually I do that. I will put it into the other carts that are sitting there. The only time I ever don't do that is when there's plenty of room there and I'm in a hurry. Otherwise I do exactly what you're saying. But people do stupid things all the time. Like you can't walk more than 10 feet or have a conversation with any one person more than 10 minutes before you realize that somebody around you is doing something retarded.
Oh, for sure. They're stupid people are everywhere. Everywhere. Like driving. I mean, driving is scary.
Yep.
Literally, I think that they will just give anybody a license. Like you can take this test, you go out driving with some old guy who's been doing this for 30 years and is probably sleeping through most of your driving test, and they just give you a driver's license because I know we could probably do a whole episode just on driving and stupid people.
Yep.
But here, I'll give you two of my most annoying things that people do when they're driving. The first one, merging onto a freeway. Now, I know you live in Mayberry and you have 2 stoplights, so you don't really get on a freeway all that much.
Hey, I do too.
But
I drive to other towns. I get on the freeway and I
Okay.
know what you're going to say, and it pisses me off too.
Oh my gosh. What makes people think that you're merging onto a freeway where most people are going probably 65 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour?
Yep.
Is usually what it is. What makes you think that it is safe or okay to merge onto the freeway doing 45? Do you not realize that the guy who's coming up behind you who's doing 65 to 80 and you're trying to merge on in front of him, he's not going to have enough time to stop before he hits your butt because you don't know how to merge onto a freeway?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're not doing 65, but you should at least be doing 55 when you're merging onto the freeway. It is okay to hit the accelerator. That's the long, skinny one on the right, in case anybody needs to know. It is okay to push that down to speed up so you can merge safely onto the freeway.
Yep.
It drives me insane when especially if I'm behind somebody who's trying to merge onto the freeway and they're going that slow. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could ram your car right now and it would do no damage to my car and I wouldn't get in trouble. But I know that's not true, so I can't do that. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to look like an idiot too because you're being an idiot. So I have to merge onto the freeway slowly because you're merging onto the freeway slowly. Ugh.
You know, the other day I was coming down the road and we still have snow. In fact, we're expecting snow tonight. Mother Nature's drunk or something. It is fucking April, and yeah, and anyway, that's another thing that pisses me off too, that it's, you know, the middle of April and we're still getting snow. But
hey, it's the middle of April and we hit 100, so
oy vey. Okay, well,
yeah.
We can get warmer.
Exactly.
You guys can't cool off outside. Anyway, so I was driving.
True.
I'm driving down the road towards the highway, and there was a car in front of me, and it slowed down and turned. It was making a right-hand turn in front of me. Then there was a car that was on the road that was getting ready to make a left-hand turn to go the opposite direction of me. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, got you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
this car in front of me slows down, has his blinker on, turns, and so I continued to go. The truck that was getting ready to make the left realized that the car in front of me was turning right, and so he slowly pulls out to make a left-hand turn. I am not kidding you. I literally had to press the brake hard to avoid hitting him. And as I'm driving, I'm going, seriously, are you that much of an asshole that you're going to pull out in front of me where there's snow on the ground and ice? What is wrong with you? Oh, yeah. I could go off about people driving.
Yeah. Because he thinks that he could pull out before you get to him.
Well, okay, and that's fine.
That just means that...
But do it faster than, you know... Don't pull out going
apparently,
5.
Yeah, apparently his depth perception is probably not all that good if he can't distinguish how many feet you are actually from him. Exactly.
Yep.
Speaking of turning right, another one of my huge things with people driving is it is not necessary to come to a complete stop when you're making a right-hand turn.
Totally agree with you there. There's nothing worse than that.
Unless there is something in the way to where you can't make kind of a little bit of a wider turn. You know, if you're going onto a smaller street and there's a car sitting there and you have to kind of make sure you don't hit that car.
Right.
Like, I get that. But if you're just turning, like, on a street and I'm behind you, my speedometer should not have to go to 5 miles an hour for you to turn your car right.
Like, totally honestly,
I shouldn't even have to step on my brake if I'm driving enough distance behind you and if you're making your turn correctly.
Yeah.
I should be able to let off the accelerator, you turn, and I can keep going. I shouldn't have to step on my brake. But if I have to come to an almost complete stop so you can turn your fucking car, I'm yelling at you.
Yep.
Like, turn sometime before Christmas, please turn your car. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my gosh. And even making a left-hand turn. Why is it so hard when the arrow turns yellow or green? Why does it take 10 seconds for you to make the turn in the intersection to go left? Like, why do only 3 or 4 cars get through the intersection? Doing a left-hand turn's very easy.
Right?
So I don't get that either. Anyway, I could go on and on about driving because, I'm not a perfect driver and I'm not claiming to be because I make mistakes too. But God, there's some stupid people behind the wheel.
What about...
I'm surprised that...
Are you a backseat driver?
No, not really. Only if I'm driving with my dad. Because my dad doesn't pay attention when he's driving. So, like, I'll have to, like, he won't brake. Like, he'll be daydreaming or some shit or looking off to the side, and the car in front of us is stopping, and I'll go, Dad, you might need to stop. And he's like, oh. I'm like, really? Could we pay attention here? Because I really don't want to die today. Thanks, though.
How are you?
Thanks for that offer.
Doesn't it make you wonder how he's made it this far without totally destroying his car? I mean, seriously. Like, I'm not really I'm a nervous person. I don't claim not to be, but I'm not really like when Mark is driving, I'm not really a backseat driver. But there are some times that I find myself like when, like, for example, Brandon. Brandon is a new driver, and he's a good driver. He's cautious, and I appreciate that totally because I am a nervous driver. But I noticed that not necessarily, it's not a stupid move. He's actually following the rules. It's more my impatience. But, like, he'll pull up when he gets to a stop sign, and he stops before the white line. Whereas when I pull up to a stop sign, I pull all the way up to the stop sign, pass over that little white line on the ground that tells you you're supposed to stop first. So that's more me than him. But I find myself going, you could pull up to that. Well, that's not what the driver's ed instructor told us. So yeah, I'm not really a backseat driver either. I'm more of an impatient passenger.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really like that, though.
No.
Hey, okay. I have to pause for a second. I need to speak to my children, so everybody will be able to hear a little part of my life.
Okay.
You guys need to go downstairs and wait for Dad. Hey, is everything off in your room? Your fan, your TV, everything?
Oh, yeah, relapse refill.
I don't understand. And Nathan, don't forget your pills, okay?
What?
You need to take your medicine with you to Dad's. Okay. They're going to Dad's for the night, so I have to make sure that they're down there when he knocks on the door because I'm upstairs.
Well,
so,
be fun.
speaking of stupid people, no, I'm just joking.
No, hey, now. Let's not.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Or am I?
I'm
just kidding too.
Or am I?
So what other areas?
Okay.
What's the biggest thing that you notice, like, in your everyday life? What's the biggest thing you notice that besides driving? Because driving, I think everybody has a bit of road rage. What's one of the biggest things that you notice in your life where you notice stupid people the most?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of the last time. I mean, there's always stupid people, like, in a restaurant. People who complain about stupid stuff that really... Is your life so boring that you have to complain about that?
Yep.
Like, there's more. Okay, so, for instance, I remember I took my kids out to breakfast one morning. We tried out this new place, and it's a busy place because it's popular. They have, like, these humongous pancakes that come out, and they're so good. So, we went there for breakfast, and we had to wait. And so, we're sitting there, and this guy comes up to the front, and he's an older gentleman, and... the hostess asks, how was your breakfast? And he said, well, it was crap. And I was like, oh God, here we go. Here we go. And he said that all his breakfast didn't come out at the same time. And so he had to eat cold eggs. And why is he going to pay for breakfast if he has to eat cold eggs? Well, but my question is, did you complain about the eggs first, or did you complain about something else, which in turn made the waitress have to go and get you new eggs? And so there was a delay because, it wasn't just a delay in the food coming out. Like, your food came out, everything was nice and hot, but you had a complaint. So then it started this downhill spiral
right.
of things, but you just want to complain because your eggs were cold. But in reality, they probably would have not been cold had you not complained about something else.
Right.
Was my thinking. And so for me, it's like, if you're in a busy place and it's busy and it was a holiday, so there was a lot of people there and it's busy, you kind of have to go in with the expectation of something's probably going to go wrong. Like, I'm not going to get the best service today
right.
because they're busy. Like, don't go in with high hopes. This isn't like a 5-star restaurant where you're going to be paying $100 for a steak and you expect the service to be immaculate. This is just a breakfast place, And so he says he wants to speak to the manager. So the manager comes over and it's this little tiny like Asian lady, and she looks, super nice, and she's very nice to him, and she says, was there a problem? And he's like, yeah, my eggs were cold. And she just kind of stood there for a second like, okay. There was no more to it than that. He just, he didn't have an explanation. He couldn't say why his eggs were cold. He didn't explain why his eggs were cold and why he's so angry about it. I don't want to pay for them because they were cold. And I was like, there's so much more to life than just complaining about cold eggs. I mean, cold eggs are still good.
Yeah.
You can still eat them. It's not like they're gross. And if they were cold, did you ask her to reheat them? Like, did you ask for a compromise or new eggs or, and the poor girl, she had to compensate him because, the customer's always right and you don't want, bad word of mouth and all that. But I don't understand the concept of complaining about something that really is kind of out of somebody's control, and it's really not going to help anybody for you to complain. And, it's like complaining that your napkin fell on the floor. Well, you dropped it on the floor.
Right.
So how is that anybody else's fault but yours? So I just think that there's a lot of people who they like to complain. Mm-hmm. Misery, company loves misery or whatever
misery
that
loves
saying
company,
is.
And I agree with you on that
Thank
too.
you.
Yep.
There's just people out there that like to complain, whether it's a valid complaint or not a valid complaint. They just like to be that person.
Yep.
And I'm so not that person. I don't complain unless there is a complaint or I feel it necessary. I've eaten cold eggs many a times, but whatever.
Right.
I'm still eating. I'm grateful that I can afford to eat and that I have eggs in front of me, so I'm going to eat them cold, hot. I don't care.
Right.
I'm going to eat them. So,
well,
I think it had something to do with kind of the older age, too.
That could be. I was watching a video the other day on social media, Facebook. There was this video, and there was a bunch of firemen, and they had gone grocery shopping.
Hello.
I would say I got stuck at the firemen, but this video was so...
You had me at firemen.
Right? So this video, it was... Basically, the situation was there was a patron sitting in his car recording this guy giving the firemen a hard time because they were doing grocery shopping on taxpayers' money. They were doing it on tax time.
Oh, for the love of God.
Right. He really 100% felt like he was in the right by complaining that these guys were going shopping while they should be on duty. And he kept making complaints to the guy who was filming him, or he kept making comments to the guy who was filming him saying, yeah, you should film this because this is so wrong and people will agree that this, he was going on and on and on about how it was so wrong that these guys were spending taxpayers' money and, working on the clock, and they were shopping at this grocery store and the guy was like, the guy who was filming or recording it goes, you think that you're right, but you're not. Nobody's going to support
Yeah, exactly.
this. I mean,
Exactly.
you're standing here throwing a fit. All you're doing is making yourself look like an ass, and then I'm going to blast you on social media. So it's going to
Right?
make you look even worse.
Well, and it's one of those things where I'd like to look at the guy and go, I'm sorry that you're pissed off at our government, because frankly, I'm pissed off at our government also.
Yep.
But why are you taking it out on a fireman? Because I hope to God that your house doesn't catch on fire, and that fireman right there is the one that responds to your house.
Right?
Because he might take a look at it and go, did we get groceries? Because I don't think we got groceries. Should we go get groceries? We can come back to this. I mean, especially people who complain to firemen, police officers,
Yep.
teachers, doctors.
Public service. Yes.
Public service. Like, do you realize that if we did not have these people who get paid crap, by the way, this is going to be my probably one and only political anything, is that teachers and firemen and policemen should be some of the highest paid people in America. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but anybody who's going to run into my burning house to save my children, my cat, just to save my house in general, should not only be getting paid 30 grand a year. Period.
Yeah.
Like, they should be getting paid a whole lot more. And along with teachers. Why? And now in Arizona, teachers, we are one of the states that pay our teachers the lowest. We pay our teachers crap. Why anybody would want to be a teacher in Arizona is beyond me. I mean, I'm glad we have them because I have kids who need to go to school, but
Right.
it's just crazy to me. So how people can just sit there and complain to these service people who are there to protect you and help save lives. And, you know, disclaimer, I'm not saying that policemen aren't always in the right. Some of them are in the wrong. Let's just get that straight.
Sure.
But I do think that, you know, they're out there to protect us, and
in
they should be
most
treated with
cases,
respect.
They are in the right. I totally agree with that.
I mean, you know, everybody makes mistakes, and yes, I mean, I look at it this way. Until you are actually a police officer and you are in a situation, you cannot say that they should not have done that.
Right.
Because you weren't there. You weren't in that situation. It's just like somebody, you know, saying that you shouldn't, I don't know. I don't want to bring up something that could be controversial because that's not what this podcast is about. But I just don't think that you should judge people or come to conclusions unless you've actually been in that situation before.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. Is that
agreed.
The whole reason why our society is the way that it is right now, why people are killing other people and, you know, driving cars into groups of innocent people or shooting into groups of innocent people who had nothing to do with whatever you're pissed off about. It's just because people are so quick to judge and people are so quick to hate. Like, we just need to just, there needs to be more love and more, you know, kindness. Kindness is what we need really in this world. Is just, you just need to be kind to people.
I agree.
Like, I don't understand why do you have to hate? Like, I don't care what the color of your skin is. Like, if you're nice to me, I'm going to be nice to you, and vice versa.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. If you know, it just doesn't matter. It's just, it's just irritating, and I fear for my children's future in this world. And if it's going to keep going the way that it's going, that, you know, are they going to make it to old age? Because honestly, with school shootings and people just out there, you know, doing crazy shit to people they don't even know, I just don't get it. Anyway.
Wow, that went off on a dark path. Okay,
right?
I'm sorry.
That took a turn. That really took a turn for it. So let's talk about some let's talk about Hollywood and maybe some stupid people we have in Hollywood, because I can come up with some of those.
Hey, you know, okay, here's something that it's, okay, so maybe these people don't feel like they're stupid, but speaking of Hollywood, why do people in Hollywood feel the need to name their kids strange things like Apple? I mean, I get the biblical reference, but really, kids in school aren't going to
Biblical
get
reference
that
or not,
yeah, the kids are still
Okay.
going to tease you.
biblical reference or not, that's a piece of fruit.
I-
It is not a child. It is a piece of fruit. You do not name your children after fruit.
Okay, so
You
get
just
this.
don't.
When my kids were younger and all of my friends were having kids, Mark and I had, and there was another couple that we were friends with, and the wife was pregnant. She was having her first baby, and they were bragging about how they were going to name their baby something really a strong name, and it was, a name that it demands respect, and they harped on it
please.
and went on and on about how they wouldn't tell anybody what the baby's name was going to be, but they were real quick to let us all know that it was going to be one of those names that just, you heard it and it was just a very strong, masculine name. She knew she was having a boy, but she didn't know, she wasn't going to tell anybody what she was naming him. That baby was born and they named him Kale. Like the lettuce leaf kale. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I like
Kale?
the name. I think the name is good, and kale chips I've heard are really good. But that's exactly what's going to happen. That is not a strong presidential name. You know what I mean?
No, it's a piece of lettuce. It's not strong.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
Weak. It's lettuce.
It always makes me laugh when people go really balls to the wall with, this is going to be the greatest, oh my gosh, strongest, whatever. And then, we named him Kale.
Okay. Yeah, so along those lines, which I agree with you, Kale is not a strong name,
No.
and it's retarded. So let's talk about Kim and Kanye.
Oh, for the love of...
Kardashian and West, or whatever.
Southwest.
Whoever you want to call them.
Really?
Yeah,
Or
okay.
Northwest?
So
or...
they have 3 children now, and their first child was named North. Mm-hmm. So her name is Northwest. That's not a name, that's a direction, which I don't know which way Northwest is. Right? So it doesn't really matter to me, but that's a direction, not a child. You don't name your child. And I can remember her saying, it's so unique. No, you dumbass. It's not
direction.
unique. It's a direction. There's
be...
nothing unique about that. Northwest has been around for a long time. I don't get it. So then their second child, I don't remember the second child's name. I'd have to look it up. Ooh, why can't I remember? Anyway, well, their third child, they named her Chicago.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Chicago West?
I have a cup. Yeah, Chicago West. Now, I'm sorry, but that sounds like a fucking
show
airport.
named that. Or something.
It sounds like an airport. Chicago is a city. Mm-hmm. Chicago is the name of a musical. Chicago is not the name of a child, and then you put West on it. It sounds like an airport. Where are you flying out of? Chicago West. Really?
Oh
That's your child's name. That's dumb. And then we have Kylie, who named her daughter Stormy, I think her name is.
Yep.
Which, okay. That's not horrible. It's not good.
Right.
But it's not horrible. And then you have Black China and Rob Kardashian, who named their child Dream. No, that's a verb. That's something that you do. That's not something you name your child. You dream. Your child is not Dream. It could be, she could be a dream. It's something you are, not, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I named all of my kids pretty normal names, but I spelled them unusual, which is pretty common too for people to spell their kids' names unusual. But like,
well, my sister did it.
And I like that name. I think Avi is a cute name. I have a friend who named her daughter Abrielle, but you don't pronounce it that way. It's Aubrielle, and it's Aubrey. She's very particular about that. I mean, I don't know. I get that. That's totally fine, but I don't know. Like, then there's Surrey.
Like,
Surrey is...
Oh, yeah, Surrey.
I mean...
That poor child.
Yeah, right?
Do you realize what she's going to go through for the rest of... Hey, Surrey. Hey Siri, why aren't you answering me? Hey Siri, where's the McDonald's? I mean, that poor child is just doomed for the rest of her life.
I know.
Because she's an iPhone app,
Well,
basically.
She's doomed anyway because...
Well, yeah, because she's got a crazy father and... yeah. But, like, so my sister named her daughter Abigail, which is Abigail, but with a V. Now, when she told me she was going to do this, I was totally against it. I hated it. I was like, that's dumb. Like, they're just going to call her Abigail, which they do. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say Abigail, and you have to say it's Abigail. And they look at you like, what? What do you mean, Abigail? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a V instead of a B. But we call her Avi, which, you know, she is Avi, and she's the cutest thing in the world. And her name is her name. And, it, you know, I'm fine with it now. But, my kids, when we were naming our kids, my kids' names are Nathan and Ian.
Right.
They're simple. I didn't spell them differently. But the reason for this, there's a reason for it, is my married last name is Hall, Hall. So my concern was I don't want my child to sound like a dormitory, because if you go to any college, it's always something Hall.
Yep.
You know? So I didn't want them to sound like a dormitory. And I don't think my kids sound like that with their names, but they're pretty simple, ordinary, nothing crazy. Now, my Nathan's middle name is
I was just going to say that. Yes. You went a little nuts with the middle name, but that's
but you know what?
There's a reason
it works.
For it. It does work.
Yeah, and there's a reason for it. My ex-husband is a huge Denver Broncos fan, and when, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so there's that rivalry there. I can't say that word. Thank you.
Yep.
I didn't think it was bad. Nathan Elway sounds...
It does sound good.
I think it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I loved the man, so I thought, okay. Now I'm like, I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry that your middle name is after a quarterback. But, he doesn't seem to mind it, and he doesn't always have to tell people what his middle name is. He can just say E and leave it at that. So, yeah, I don't understand the weird name thing, and I'm sure that we could, and I think, didn't Valerie Bertinelli and Eddie Van Halen, when they were married, they had a son, and they named him Wolfgang. Really?
Right, yes, I do remember that. Oh my gosh,
okay,
yes.
Well, yeah, and then there's Michael Jackson, who I adore. I think Michael Jackson is a musical genius, and I am a big fan.
Yep.
But the man was a little strange, so we can say that. And he named one of his children Blanket. Again, that is something, that is an object, not a child.
I know that he named him Blanket, but I thought that he actually, wasn't it Prince or something? Prince?
No, he has 3 kids.
Okay.
There's Paris. Paris is his daughter. Prince is his second child, and Blanket is his third child.
So it actually is Blanket. It's not something else, and they call him Blanket? Nope. Really?
No, his first legal name is Blanket.
Wow.
Blanket. And his middle son's name is Prince Michael Jackson.
Oh my.
Really?
Well,
Could we say
then there's George Foreman, who named all 5 of his kids George.
Oh, for the love of God. What the hell is that?
And why would the wife let him do that? Why do you need
George Foreman 12? I don't. Because he's rich?
There is no way. There's no way.
No, there's no.
I don't. When I was pregnant with Dylan, Mark wanted to name him Thor. No. We're not naming our son Thor.
Nope, not gonna happen. Mm-mm. Nice try.
Yeah.
Next.
No.
Well, when we were trying to name Nathan, all of a sudden my ex-husband says, I want to name him Elvis. I said, excuse me? Are you... I didn't even know you were an Elvis fan. I'm a huge Elvis fan, and I went to Graceland 2 summers ago, and it was one of the best experiences ever, thanks to my mommy and my stepdad. But I looked at him like, wait, are you even an Elvis fan? Why are we going to do this to our child if you're not even a fan? He's like, well, then let's name him Aaron, which is Elvis's middle name. I'm all, wait, step back. Let's take a couple steps back here. Are you actually an Elvis fan? We've been together for 8 years and I did not know this, and now you want to name our child Elvis? Wait, I need time to just wrap my head around this right now.
Let me think about this for a second. Who are you?
No, right? I was like, Elvis, really? Let's not do that.
So when I was
I love
pregnant,
Elvis.
when I was pregnant with Caitlin, we had her name picked out, and she was going to be okay. So you know that my aunt and I were in that accident. We were in a really horrific car accident. My aunt, she passed away. Her middle name was Grace. So we were going to name Caitlin her first name after the Matrix, the girl in the Matrix. He was going to name her Trinity. He was thinking Trinity. So we had Trinity Grace. It sounded great. It flowed. Everything about it flowed. But him and I are not overly religious at all. And we happened to pass by a church called Trinity Grace of God or something like that church. And
whoops.
Nope, we're not naming her that. And the reason why is because he didn't think that it would be right to name her something, to give her such a religious name if we weren't a religious, So I agreed with him 100%. I still do like the name Trinity, but she's definitely a Caitlin. She looks like a Caitlin.
Oh, for
to me.
sure.
And Grace didn't match that, so she got Nicole. She's named after lots of people, though. That's why her middle name is Lynn, because she's named after you. You're one of the reasons. And then I had several people. But
wait, no, I'm not. What? No. Hold up. Back up. Her middle name's not Lynn.
No.
The last part of her name is Lynn.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is after me.
After you.
But that's not what you just said.
Well,
that is not what you just said.
Okay, that's what I meant, though. Her name is Caitlin, and the way that it's spelled with Lynn was after your middle name. That's why That's why it's spelled that way. And then the C stood for, a friend, and A stood for a friend. The T stood for family. The way everything about her name, even her middle name, is after family. So
I know. Okay, but wait. I know the C and I know the A. I know who those are for. Who was the T and the I?
There's no I. There's an E.
Oh, E. Well, whatever. I-E sounds the
same.
So who's the T and the E?
The T was for my Aunt Tammy, because at the time her and I were really close. The E, I needed something in her name, C-A-T-E. So Kate. But yeah, the E I guess doesn't really have a symbolic reference, but
it's for Ewok.
Yeah, and then yeah, right. And then Nicole, I actually I really like the name Nicole, but my cousin Chelsea and my sister, Chelsea's middle name is Nicole, and my sister's first name is Nicole. So yeah, she was I had lots of reasons why she's Caitlin and the spelling of it. But yeah, that's how that went. All my kids were spelled different except for Brandon. But
except for Brandon, yeah.
Yep.
Well, Dylan isn't spelled weird, is he?
Yep, he's
it's
O-N.
Just D-Y-L-O-N instead of A-N?
Yep.
So does he get called Dill-on?
You know what? It's very funny. The school calls me to tell me that he's low on his lunch balance. Your son, Dylon.
Dylon.
Yep, Dylon.
I'm going to start calling him Dylon. Hi, Dylon.
And he gets called all kinds of things. One of his coaches called him Pickle, Dill Pickle.
That's funny.
Yep. Okay, so I thought would be a good time to do, maybe we should start wrapping this up, and it would be a good time to do instead of doing the best friend questions this time, I was thinking that maybe we could do Would You Rather and play a game. Would You Rather?
Idea. Yeah, let's do that.
That sounds like fun, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So I looked up, I know that we had talked about doing this before, and I had also looked up some of these Would You Rather questions. So I had a couple, but I'll just ask you one or two.
Okay.
Okay, so would you rather win $50,000 or...
Oh my God, shut up.
Yep, or let your best friend win $500,000. You picked that same question, didn't you?
I wrote down that same fucking question.
Okay, so then I wrote this down because I thought how funny it would be to answer it the same way, and I'll bet we do then. I bet we do answer it the same way. Okay, so here's my answer then. My answer would be that I would let my best friend win the $500,000 because I know she'd share.
That was my answer too,
See?
to a T, like exact words.
That's exactly, I mean, not that I'm greedy or anything, $50,000 for myself, but really $500,000, I totally know you'd share with me.
Right?
Right?
I mean, like, why am I only going to take 50 grand for myself?
Right?
And versus letting you have 500,000 when I know you'll at least give me 150,000 of that.
Exactly,
I
right?
mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
duh,
it's a win-win.
Oh my gosh, I can't, and as I was writing down that question, I was like, there's a good chance she might ask me the same question.
Yep.
But I'm glad that you picked more than one because I only picked that one. So you can ask your next one. We'll both answer it.
Okay, so my next one would be, well, I actually wrote down 3 then. Since you didn't write down another
Okay.
one, we'll do 3 of them then. Okay, so then the
Okay.
next one is, would you rather speak your mind or never speak again?
Oh, shit. I kind of already speak my mind.
Yeah?
I would have to speak my mind. I can't not speak.
I couldn't go without talking.
We're doing a podcast, for Christ's sake. How could I not speak?
Right? Okay, so...
We are-
So my thought on this was, as hard as it is for me to actually speak my mind without beating around the bush, like if I took it at face value and you're actually speaking your mind versus never speaking again, I'd learn how to speak my mind because there ain't no way that I could go without talking. I can't
Me
even
neither.
go without, like humming or making some sound for too long.
I'm always making some kind of noise.
Right? Okay, and then the last one was, would you, if you had a superpower, would you rather it be that you were invisible or that you'd be able to fly?
Okay, so here's my thoughts on these. I would like to be invisible just because there's sometimes where, you say to yourself, God, I wish I would have been a fly on that wall. So you could see,
Exactly.
like, how that all went down.
Yep.
But, so that's a good part about being invisible because then you can see things and people won't know you were actually there and you could see how that fight went down or,
Right.
how that all turned out.
And then hear how
But
they tell it and know the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, you are a lying sack of shit
Right?
right now. That did not happen.
Boy, you are the queen of embellishments.
Right? You that's a little over dramatic, don't you think?
Right?
But then the downside of that too is if you're invisible and then you can hear things that maybe you don't want to hear, like maybe somebody's saying something about you that maybe you don't want to hear. Because for me, things get stuck in my head.
Yep.
Like if I see something, that's stuck in my head. I think about it all the time. If I hear something, I dwell on it.
Yep.
And I'm constantly like, why did they say that? I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't. And I'm just constantly doing that. So that's kind of a downfall of being invisible, is because you may hear something that you don't want to hear or see something you
Right.
don't want to see. But flying, on the other hand, would be nice because then you wouldn't have to take the 6-hour car ride to California.
True.
You could fly around the world and see whatever. You would never have to deal with the stupid people driving. So that would be
Yay.
good. So I think if I had to pick between the two, I still think I'd pick invisible because I really want to be a fly on the wall.
That goes back
It's always
to
something
the
I've
whole
wanted to be.
being, why did they die? And
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah,
saying,
you could
yes.
go back and find out why they died.
Yes, I am the same way. I
Good point,
think
Chris.
as cool as it would be to be able to fly, I'd be the one to run into a building. So I think it would be better for me to be invisible. I totally
You'd
do.
be one-
I'd be the one.
You'd be that.
Yeah,
You'd be that one bird that hit the windshield.
That's right, because it looked like you could fly right through it. Yeah, that'd be me. I'd be the one to run into it. And
Like
yeah.
the Windex commercials with the birds that fly into the sliding glass door.
I know
'cause
you
it's
just
so
got
clean.
the visual, didn't you? You just saw the visual of
Yes.
me flying and slamming right into a window. Oh, there goes
That's
Crystal
fantastic.
again. Yes.
That's fantastic. Oh man, that's funny.
So yes, I agree. I think that I would. And speaking of that, you were talking about how you could be a fly on the wall. I was telling a friend at work some of the troubles that I was having in this one department, And one of the people that I'm having the most trouble with happened to be in the bathroom when my friend was in there, and she was complaining. So I kind of was invisible because my friend told me everything that she said. But it wasn't, she didn't mention names, but she was telling her side of how everything was going wrong in the department, and, you know, the complaints that she had with the people that were helping in the department, and this and that and the other. Where my friend, she's hearing this, and then she's also hearing me complain about the same things. So she's hearing both perspectives. It was really funny. She's telling me all about it, and I thought, oh, how cool is that? I got my own little fly on the wall.
Right?
Okay.
Wow.
So next thing up, Van and I wanted to take you guys on a journey with us. We're going to try a 4-week challenge.
Oh, boy.
Yep, and we're going to start it on Monday, which is the day that this podcast will come out. I don't know what date it is. It's probably
April 16th.
Okay, so the 16th, we're going to start this challenge. Mm-hmm. And basically, what it is, it's a 4-week challenge where we're going to try and have no chips or fries, no soda or juice, no cakes or donuts, no white bread, no ice cream, no I'm dying. I'm dying already, Van.
Right?
Just reading I'm dying. Okay, no candy, no fast food, no cookies, and no fried food for 4 weeks. And we're going to start this on the 16th and keep you guys updated. So you guys could definitely help us out there and let us know what works for you if you've done it.
If we don't have an episode up on the 23rd, somebody might want to call the authorities because we're probably both dead because we haven't had anything to eat in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard, and it's gonna be hard because we both work in an office, and there's constantly stuff. And in fact, I'm glad we're not starting this week because on Friday we're having a 40th birthday bash for one of our coworkers, and everybody's bringing in breakfast stuff, which means donut holes from Bosa Donuts in Arizona, and they are the bomb. So I will be eating a lot of those.
Did you just say the bomb?
The bomb.
The bomb.
So
that's funny.
If you would like to join us in this little journey of ours, it's 4 weeks. We're going to post the list on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Yep. Tumblr.
Follow it with us, and then email us and let us know how you're doing, or, at the end of the challenge, let us know how you did, or, and we'll read some of your emails online. I talk like we're online on the episode.
You can also email us at spikedcoffeeandsarcasm at gmail.com, or you can go to our Facebook page and leave us a comment there, or on Twitter, like you said. Yeah,
Instagram.
Anywhere. Instagram. Mm-hmm. One thing also that I wanted to do is give a shout out to Brad Thomas with The House. Welcome to The House with Brad Thomas. It's a sports podcast. We just wanted to say thank you for listening to our podcast and giving us a great review on iTunes. It was
Thank
awesome,
you, Brad.
and we really appreciate it. And
we do.
Thank you. So, yeah. Anything you want to add, Van?
No, I don't think so. Just, let us know you're out there. We haven't heard from anybody, and we just want to know that you guys are out there and you're listening to us and we're making you laugh. So, we just want you to, keep listening.
Give us your ideas. We can't wait to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we wrap this up then.
We do.
All right. Well, you guys all remember to keep on laughing.
And stay sarcastic.